Hi, can you please tell us your name and what do you do?
Hi, my name is Mohamed Mansi. In the handball world, I'm known as Mo, or Lefty Mo. And career-wise, I have a few businesses here in New York City. I have a restaurant in Brooklyn and other businesses in Queens. I went to school and I got my bachelor's in computer science, so I do some software engineer work. And I've been playing handball competitively for the last 10 years.
Well, before we go to handball, what kind of restaurant do you own?
Oh, I have a wing store. It's called Twisted Wings in Brooklyn. We have 26 different sauces for wings. We have a large selection of food. It's halal food. It's the meat is halal.
And how long you doing it?
We had the restaurant for about 2 years now, and I got my business in Queens is a DMV express service. You need plates, registration. Come to us. We do it in 15 minutes.
Nice. And how about handball? You do tournaments?
Handball, yeah. I've been playing competitively for the past 10 years. So, I've been training, trying to get better. I traveled to different parks all over the city. I would go to indoor courts in the winter, just to play anybody that could beat me. Anybody that was better than me, I wanted to be the worst guy in the room so I could improve. So wherever that was, I would go there.
Can you please tell us about the handball styles you play and what are the most popular?
Styles wise, there's
wall, three wall.
So I play one wall big ball. You have a one wall court. There's one wall on one side and that's it. And you have a bigger, rubber ball. A pen rubber ball. It's a blue ball, kind of like the squash ball or the racquetball ball. An example. This is the ball. There's variations of this sport where the ball is smaller, the ball is bigger. But I play one wall big blue handball. And there's 3-wall handball, 4-wall handball. There's this same game in small ball. The concept of the game is very similar to tennis or ping pong. You're rallying with somebody in order to defeat them in the rally. You can put topspin on the ball. You can slice it. There's so many different ways to hit the ball. And there's so many different concepts you have to understand in being able to execute within the game. This game is very fast-paced. Requires both your dominant and your opposite hand. So you need to have good reaction time. You have to have high handball IQ and a good understanding of the game to elevate in the game. It's very competitive. And what got me into the game was it doesn't matter. The game is usually played in doubles where it's 2-on-2, so you need a partner. And it didn't matter where this partner was from. I don't care what he looked like. I don't care where they were from, their age. All that mattered was how good they were. And that was the kind of respect you got on the handball court. So you could have been any age, any race, didn't matter. Your respect was of how good on the court. People wanted to play for you for your skill set, and that's it. And for me, that was always cool. That was like a cool thing. And the game itself, it's a lot of fun. There's a rush to it. When there's an intense volley, when you kill the ball and you end the volley, you get a little adrenaline rush. And sometimes you and the person you're playing with synchronize. You both have the same rush. Your blood starts pumping when somebody does something crazy. Let's say the opponents hit a really good shot. My partner dives 6 feet, onto the concrete and gets the shot. Wherever they're hitting the ball next, I'm getting it. That I see something like that instantly. My senses are sharp. Everything is sharp. I'm totally in the zone, and I'm just willing to do anything to win the volley. Because I saw that much commitment come out of my partner, and that energy is constantly bouncing off each other. Sometimes it could be negative, sometimes it could be positive, but there's this feeling when you're in there and you're on the court, and it's just you, your partner, and your opponents, or you and your opponent, and that's it. Everything else, nothing else matters, and the game is so intense. It's like fighting, but without any physical contact. There's the energy you're emitting when you're just decimating somebody and just tearing them apart and making them feel like they're nothing. Like that. There's it's a feeling as intense or as maybe dark as it sounds. That's the feeling of being a competitor. That's the feeling of trying to be a champion. And you have to. You're going into battle, and there's only one person's gonna come out. There's only one victor. So whatever it is, you have to do it. And in this game, just like any other sport, you have to put in the time. You have to understand the right way of playing and the right form and the right style. But it's a really fun game, and the great part about it that it's so you just need a ball and a wall. It doesn't you need your basic sports attire. But for the sake of wanting to learn the game, as long as you have a ball and a wall, that's all you need.
What are the most appreciated shots? Like the shots that are bringing the most pleasure to you and to the
So like the coolest
spectators?
shots that could be a spike when somebody spikes the ball. And they'll hit it very low at the wall, but in a way they'll make it soar into the air. It's a cool looking shot. It's not always, you could say, the most effective shot. It is effective. It all depends on the situation, but it's a very cool looking shot. It's pretty awesome. And then I would say after that, somebody killing the ball, somebody hitting it in a way where it was nearly impossible for you to retrieve it. And offensively, those I think are the coolest things. Defensively, when somebody dives and they get the ball, they dive 6 feet, 7 feet because of their anticipation and their courage and their willingness and their skill to be able to get the ball and do it. And whether it's throwing themselves, whether it's leaping, whatever it may take, whatever it may cost.
What is the safest, like not safest, but a way to learn to do the dives? Like how did you go about it?
So what, to dive or
to learn to dive?
Learning, honestly, that's a very hard question because it's one doesn't really. A dive is a defensive shot that you're doing to stop the other person from ending it, and it's you really want to practice shots that prevent that person from even making a shot that would put you in that situation. But I wouldn't. The way I learned is when I started going to the indoor facilities, and it was kind of like a concrete floor, but it seemed a little less dangerous, So that's where I felt comfortable learning how to dive. I was able to take it outside and apply it to out here, but practicing it, I guess you would need some floor mats by a handball wall, or something. It wouldn't be really easy because I wouldn't advise putting your body in a situation where the cons outweigh the pros and learning that specifically, practicing it.
How did you like Taiwan's game today?
I mean, Taiwan's a very good player. He fundamentally he's just very good. Like if you understand this game on a high level, then you really know what he's doing. Growing up, I used to watch games and I thought it was cool, but I really didn't get what was going on. And now that I really understand, I can appreciate the things that they do. But overall, as a player, he's very good. He's very powerful. He has a smart game, and credit to him. He's playing good, and I hope he continues to because he's the #1 player right now. And he's a really cool guy. His era should definitely try to last as long as it could. But me as an individual competitor, I want to smash everybody. Taiwan, Timbo, it doesn't matter. Nobody's safe. I'm coming after everyone. None of that matters. Nobody's safe when I'm on the court. When you're in there, I have no fear. I have no fear for anybody. Nobody ever puts fear into my heart. I love when somebody can bring it to me, just so I can show them that I can bring it even harder. Just so I can show them that there's somebody that they'll never beat. I want to put that feeling into everybody. And so that feeling sometimes is a reason why I play. Just to be the champ, be the man. Be unstoppable.
What was the score today?
In that game, I think we were 21-17, 21-18. We were pretty neck and neck with them the entire game. I don't ever like to blame my partners or blame anybody, but I always think that no matter what the situation, I could have been better to overcome it. Regardless of the situation, who I was playing with, who I was playing against, if the teams are even or odd, the only way you get respect is to get better, and the only way you get respect is by winning. And to win you need to improve. So I have no ceiling. I can never stop getting better. As long as I'm honest with myself and I know what to work on, I can never stop getting better. My growth rate, is limitless.
What was the name of your partner and your?
My partner, his name, what he's called in the handball world, I believe, is Tuti. You know, my opponent, he's a he's, you know, say he's a B player, a low B player in big ball handball. And small ball, he's an A player in small ball, but in big ball, I'd say he's like a low B. You know, it's a different game. It's a, you know, totally different game, totally different. You know, there's more competition in one versus another. You know, it's a little harder to become an A in big ball just because there's way more people doing it. You know, so they have to set the bar higher. You know, for the standard. And yeah, my opponent was Eddie. You know, he's known as Ponytail Ed. And he's a very good. He's a pro player. He's a very good weak side player. Very good support player. You know, like when I'm playing against guys like that, I have to really think about every shot. Like every shot has to make sense. You know?
How do you become a top player, like an A player? Is there like a?
It takes years of dedication, and you need to. You know, like in terms of how to do it, you need to win tournaments. You know, you have to in the division, in the B division, which is like you could say it's the D League. You have to win all the tournaments, and you have to win enough where they'll promote you to becoming an A player. You know, that's really the gist of going into that level. You know, not to say there's not a lot of people in the D League that play at that pro level already, or even better than some pros that exist now. But you know, not everybody has the time to be able to compete in tournaments and to stay conditioned to even compete in the tournaments. You know, people have the other responsibilities that they have to attend to. So I understand. So you know that the dynamics of the community and where certain players are at and their level, it varies. But yeah, that's what you need to do.
And ranking is done by the community itself.
Yeah, you know, there's a few organizations. You know, currently I believe it's called Sasha. They've been giving the A card, you know, but the whole community is kind of merged. So, you know, somebody posts the results of the tournament, Sasha finds out from somebody else, you know. It could be word of mouth. It goes through, you know, social media usually. You know, that's how people know who wins. You know, when they're live streamed, the events are streamed, people are watching. You know, the scores are listed. You know, and yeah. But then, you know, there's some pages that have, you know, tournament results and who placed and who won, you know.
How do we bring the young generation into the sport?
How do you bring the young generation into sport? I think have the sport as a team in schools, you know. If you introduce it to them in schools and, you know, that's a good place to start, you know. Then you could have teams and after-school programs, you know. And I mean, the sport itself has to blow up, you know. As any sport, it has to cover a huge scale of people. People have to find out about it because it's a lot of fun. It's really entertaining. Like just for somebody who doesn't even watch the sport like that, it's crazy. There's some, you know, it's crazy volleys. They're doing crazy things in there. You know, it's very intense. You know, it's a very high, you know, athletically performed level that you could watch just as a fan. You know, and that needs to happen, you know, in order for the sport to blow up because it's so entertaining, it's so much fun, you know. But yeah, that's what handball is for me.
Mo, is there anything else would you like to add?
Not, you know, sports for all ages, and you know, just always be open to getting better and improving. And everybody has their other, you know, their reasons. Whatever that reason is, you know, stick to it, and you know, it's fun. It's all about having a good time too. You know?
Thank you, man, and I hope we'll get time to talk again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it for sure.
Appreciate it.